Last time on Races to Places, Lyndon and Basil headed north to Giza.
Traded Basil for camel.
The Giza Pyramid Complex, also called the Giza Necropolis, is the site on the Giza Plateau in Egypt that includes the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Pyramid of Khafre and the Pyramid of Menkaure. Along with the Great Sphinx of Giza, this complex was built in the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom of Ancient Egypt.
Here we are just at the Pyramids of Giza with my friend here, Camel. Just brought me for a little ride up here. So it's just about to go down. It's super windy, but because of Ramadan the whole site is closed at 3 o'clock, so this is the only way we can see it from here on the hill.
It's a shame that the pyramids were shut and Lyndon wasn't able to take a look around. Now it's time for some food, in the shape of pyramids.
Even got pyramid rice tonight, check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I spent the whole morning with the police trying to make it to the western desert region of Egypt, but they just said it was not possible. Wouldn't let me go on my own and wanted me to go with the tour company, and that's not the way that I want to travel in Egypt. I made the difficult decision that I was going to ship the bike out of Egypt. I don't want to travel with a tour company, I don't want to travel with somebody else. I wanted to explore Egypt like I've explored the rest of the world on Races to Places. Travelling with a tour company or with police escorts is not how I like to travel a country, so I made the decision to go back to Europe. But I just want to share with you the view from my hotel room. Let me show you outside. And as you can see, there's a big pyramid outside. And what's more, look at that. That is Giza Pyramids.
Egypt hasn't gone the way Lyndon had planned, and that's a real shame. It's been the only country on Races to Places where getting access to view historic sites has not been allowed.
Cannot export the bike from Egypt without the traffic fine certificate, and I failed to get a traffic fine certificate when I entered Egypt. So now my good friend here, Musala, is gonna take me in the car with all the documentation to go and get this traffic fine certificate, which I should have got when I entered Egypt. Well, I tried to film the process of getting the traffic fine certificate stamped, but wow, I got into trouble for using my camera, but it was hectic. There was so many people there, all trying to get the same thing. Crazy. Just stopped and got the cash. Call a taxi. Woo. Next stop. So the company that I'm using to ship the bike is Consolidated Freight Services. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Quite sad really, loading up for what could potentially be my last day in Africa, and not really a good day either, just riding to the port. Could have been so different, Egypt, such a shame. Right Basil, let's get you to Alexandria. Nice early start for you this morning. You can have a rest on that boat. For the first time, and the other side of the ocean is Europe. Woohoo! Welcome to Alexandria. Buying an ice cream since we made it to the coast. What flavour is it? Proper ice cream. A lot of people saw that I fitted a Michelin Desert BIB Mousse in the front of my bike in Nairobi after my accident, which saw me break my wrist. A lot of people on social media are asking me how it's going, so let me just tell you, I've now done 7,000 kilometers with it. It's important that you fit it properly. It's a Michelin Desert M16 mousse, which is a desert mousse, bigger profile, inside a Michelin Anarchy Wild front tyre, which has a good strong bead hold, a good tight bead fitting, and I just did it to try it because I was sick of getting front punctures in all the volcanic rock in northern Africa and in the mountains I was going into in Ethiopia. But I have to be honest, it's absolutely shocked me how well it's done. 7,000 kilometers, it's gone a little bit softer, which is to be expected over time, but it's definitely not shown any signs of deterioration. Tyres wearing really evenly, and I'm really happy with it. So it was a little bit of a test really, and I've definitely saved myself a lot of front punctures with this. Now it's not suitable to use a mousse in the rear at all. I definitely wouldn't recommend it because of the weight of the luggage on my bike. I've tried before and it just overheats too quickly with the torque of the engine and everything. Crazy big split all the way through. Anything else, any other device, tubeless, you would have to stitch the tyre, but with a mousse, no problem. All right, let's go. we don't have a horn on Basel, this is it. If you're too small, you know.
Well, this is Basil's last day in Africa. Time for him to board the ship.
Check these wooden lifts out. Look at that. These lifts are almost 100 years old. You see this? This is the Otis lift. Hi guys, well here we are in the old and quite beautiful hotel, the Windsor Palace in Alexandria in Egypt, right on the north on the Mediterranean Sea. Now it's not normally that I book myself into a nice hotel, it's not too expensive but it's a decent place. But after my time in Egypt I was just exhausted and I really just wanted a nice place to relax while I got Basil sent over to Europe. And just reflect on my time here in Egypt. So it's been tough, it's been very bureaucratic, the authorities are very hard, challenging to deal with as a tourist, and I'm just going to explain a few experiences very quickly with you. It all started at the border crossing in the south of Sudan, just north of Wadi Halfa, when the border crossing took me 6.5 hours to get through. That's the longest border crossing on Races to Places, and it was just the process that you had to go through, very complex process. There's no way to bring a foreign vehicle in without paying a fixer, which is clearly a con. You know, it's not, it shouldn't be the case, but the actual people in the border have got it set up that way that you have to pay this fixer to get you through. So that was quite disappointing because I don't normally pay fixers, I try and do it myself, but it was just not possible. But I got in and my first point of call was Abu Simbel, and that was really nice. I went to the temple at Abu Simbel, had a good look around, experienced the ancient features and the rock formation, how they moved it, and that was really incredible. And so my first actual day in Egypt was really good. Then I headed north from there, went to Aswan. Aswan was great. And then when I started travelling north from Aswan, I started to get hassled by the police more often. Every checkpoint I was stopped, pulled over, asked for my passport, asked for documentation, the bike documents, all kinds of things when they just stopped me 20 kilometres ago. So all the time, constantly asking for papers. And then it got even worse. Then they insisted that I had police escort. Well, I didn't come to ride around the country to be escorted around. Now, I know that people say it's for my own safety, but there's hundreds of local cars driving around on the road all the time on these roads. And I just want to be left alone to do the same. So I understand they're trying to do it for my safety, but to be honest, I felt like it was overpowering and unnecessary. And to be honest, it spoiled my time here. It made it unenjoyable as an overland traveller. Didn't stop there though. I got to Hurghada eventually, had a day off in Hurghada to do some admin and planning for the days ahead. And that was really nice place, good beach on the Red Sea, really enjoyed that. Then I planned to go to Luxor, and that's where it turned bad. The authorities stopped me leaving Hurghada, and they wouldn't let me take the main road to Luxor. So they stopped me going, not with a police escort, not with anything, and not with any reasons for it. So I was stopped in my tracks, and that wasted about 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours even, one morning. They told me that I could only go the way that I wanted to go with a tour company,
But then what happened is they called the master of the police and other police around the country, so everyone knew who I was on this green bike, and I couldn't get through any police checks without getting stopped and harassed and told that I couldn't go and that I must go to Cairo. I told them I wanted to go to the Black and White Desert, and they said it's not possible, you can't go, and just no reasoning. It just seemed very, very bureaucratic and authoritarian, if that's a word. So I was really frustrated by this point, and bearing in mind it's the summer here, so it's like 50 Celsius in the day by lunchtime. I'm just sweating, stood around in my bike gear the whole time, and to be honest, I had enough. So after trying many different things, I even tried to get a tour company to give me the insurance paper to go to the Black and White Desert area, the Western Desert region, and it didn't come off, so I decided to head to Cairo. So looked on the bright side, let's head to Cairo. I always try and stay positive. Let's go see the pyramids in Cairo. I arrived in Cairo, but because of Ramadan, I respect that, the pyramids were closed, no problem at all. We'll be open tomorrow morning. Maybe I can get some photos with the bike. Not possible. They wouldn't let me put my bike through the gate just to get a photograph in front of the pyramids at Giza, and that really disappointed me. I've ridden all this way through Africa not to get one photograph, and I would have paid for that photograph, and instead I got ripped off and harassed by lots of locals around there. The way I look at Giza is it's this amazing pyramid complex with the Sphinx and everything, and then there's like a prison wall and fence around it, and on the outside of that it's just bedlam, horses, abused animals, and, you know, to be honest, locals harassing tourists, and it really did push me away. And I decided, you know what, that day I just want to get out of Egypt. I've had enough. So I rode straight to Alexandria, to the port up here, and I booked my bike on a ship over to Europe, and that's it. And one last thing, you know, data, SIM cards. Every country that I've been to around the world, I get a SIM card, and I've been to 71 countries now on Races to Places in the last 5 years. So I get a SIM card and I put data on it. Now typically with the types of activities I do with all my social media, that uses about 3 gigabytes a week. So on average about 12 gigabytes a month is what I'll use. When I came into Egypt, I bought 12 gigabytes. 3 days in, gone. There's no way I used 12 gigabytes. So I added 10 gigabytes more. 24 hours, gone. I didn't even watch any videos. I mean, even if I played full streaming 24 hours, I don't think it would burn 10 gigabytes on my iPhone. So I added another 12. 4 hours working on my phone, down to 3 gigabytes. Now, that's ridiculous, I'm sorry. There's something going on there, there's something corrupt. They are burning more data than you need, and it was just another nail in the coffin of me to get out of Egypt. So it's really disappointing, really, and I hate talking about this, and I want to finish on a high. So, first of all, it's the first country that I've been to where I've been ready to leave and want to leave, and that really saddens me about Egypt. But to finish on a high, all the Egyptian people that I've met in the normal circumstances, non-tourist situations, out in the countryside, people that own businesses and restaurants where I've eaten, they have been absolutely amazing and a real big help. So it's not, I don't want you to see this as the whole of Egypt. It seems to be the tourist industry and the authorities with their bureaucracy and the authorities' approach to tourists that is making it really difficult, and I'm sorry Egypt, not enjoyable.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for watching Races to Places. Please check out the link to my Patreon page below where you can find special features and pre-released episodes of Races to Places. I look forward to your messages and comments on there.